We just got done reviewing the topic of selling the invisible, how a lot of the work that we do is kind of invisible. It happens behind the scenes until we send our clients a monthly deliverable. Today, I want to talk about 3 tools that I really like that will help you communicate more effectively with your client to help make the invisible visible. Let's dive in. All right, welcome to another episode of CAS Minute. Today, we're going to talk through 3 tools to help you better communicate with your clients to make the invisible visible. So, the first tool I want to hit on here is Loom, or any video delivery service. So, tools like Loom allow you to create a short, personalized update for your clients on an asynchronous basis. What's important about this is that it doesn't tie you down to a consistent rhythm of having to find time to meet, having to prepare for the meeting. Instead, you can do it on your own time, and it displaces that long email, that 30-minute meeting, or perhaps a generic report that your client might really not understand how to read. I generally would recommend that you can record a video to explain the work that you've done, give them that face-to-face experience, because it'll humanize your firm, it'll make complex information a little bit easier to digest. And then if there's something in the content that you're presenting, give the option to the client to opt into a formal meeting. Oftentimes that's not necessarily needed because there aren't these massive business movements that happen on such a frequent basis that require that meeting, but the availability to it is really important. I think that's one great way, particularly in the monthly close or monthly reporting rhythm, to improve communication. The second thing that I think is really helpful for clients is looking at tools like your workflow management system that enable your client to have a peak of visibility into your workflow. Maybe it's a generic mainstream tool like ClickUp or Asana where you can create a dashboard for your client to see, hey, what progress am I making? They may not necessarily be logging in every week to see what your progress is, but providing that transparency allows you a different mechanism to create communication with your client. It helps you make that invisible visible. And so when a client can see task lists, milestones, progress, and really just like permissioned access to your internal workflow, that drives a really high degree of assurance to the client. So there are certain limitations that come with systems on being able to do this really, really well. But another thing that you can do alongside of this, if a client's not logging into a dashboard on a regular basis, you can send automated updates or notifications when key milestones are hit during your regular work with them. That way, the clients are automatically informed about the work being done without needing to request those updates. So you proactively cut some of those requests that may come in throughout the process. The last one here that I want to hit on that actually I pulled out of an experience with a local healthcare provider is that their client intake process was so smooth. There's a form that I filled out. That information got ported across the rest of my experience with this healthcare provider. And because I opted into text messages, I was able to get the information I needed prior to my appointment and after my appointment. And I loved that communication. So there are many tools like Dialpad and others that allow you to create these rhythms of communicating in the way in which your clients want to be communicated to, like text message, in order to keep them updated. Now, this is a modality that I don't think needs to be hyper customized. You can really templatize this in a way that still allows for that visibility, and then pairing that with something like a Loom video that is a little bit more customizable or personal to the client. That allows for that human touch. So I think when you could start to weave all of these things together, when you think about that holistic client experience, you want to meet the client where they're at and communicate to them in a way in which relates most to them and their business. So I think having optionality in that is really helpful. And so it's worth taking a look at the tools that you're using beyond email to communicate with your client. I think we can get far more creative with this than we traditionally are. So let's think about how we can do that. Let's create some conversation around that. Let's have a little bit of fun with it. Let's make it engaging because most people aren't going to be expecting that from their accountants. So when their accountants are able to create a little bit more lighthearted, fun, quality communication, that is welcomed by most clients. Hope that's helpful. Till next time.